Okay, I have a box opening today from a customer, and I have a vague idea of what this thing is, but I never was really 100% clear, so I'm probably going to be about as surprised as you guys. But I just want to document, as always, the opening so we can see how well it was packed and whether anything got damaged in shipping. Here lies Uncle Dave's tube amp. Uncle Dave was a jamming, the band was a slamming, and out the window it went. Cute. Let's see.
I wonder what it is.
Yeah, it's going to be an amplifier.
Oh, I wonder what it looks like.
We at least have stuff on two sides, but nothing over here. It's butted up against the edge. So we might
wonder what this.
You just have to be careful about that because you get in trouble doing that.
You know, Dad, can't please not get me in the head again? Oh.
Okay, skipping ahead a little bit, here's what came out of the box. This is a 1960s custom Kraft labeled Power Sonic. I'm not sure yet who made this thing, but judging by the knobs have the look of some late 60s Valco stuff, but I don't think Valco made this. I'm not really 100% sure though. Looks like we have 3 inputs, volume, tone, tremolo with depth and rate, on-off switch, tremolo foot switch, and just judging by what I see here, let's see, I don't know if we're going to be able to see anything in here or not. Let's get some light on. Well, it looks like there's no top yet on this homemade cabinet, so we can see right in here and pretty much tell that everything is pretty dirty, pretty farm fresh, pretty original looking. I can't say for sure who made this yet. Those 2 boards are kind of a giveaway that it's not Valco, so we do know that. Now I think I know. I'll have to give this some thought, but this kind of gold anodized plated look, I've seen this on chassis before. I'll have to rack my brain and try to remember who made the ones that I've already researched in the past that were like this. I'll figure it out probably before the end of this video, but I can see a couple of codes already. It's late 1965, the 45th week. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it or not, but there are a couple of pot codes that I can tell are late 1940, or excuse me, 1965. Oh, there we go. Oh, I know, sweetie. That's my daughter again. 1960, yeah, 45th week right there. I think I saw that one as well. But yeah, this thing really farm fresh, just dirty, dingy. Couple 6v6s by the look of it, a 5Y3, maybe a couple of 12X7s up here. Let's flip it up and get a better look at the underside. Okay, here's the underside of the chassis. The power transformer there is 1966. Looks like the 33rd week of 1966. RCA on the 5Y3 rectifier. A couple of 6v6s. They look like GEs. I've got an unknown 12X7 in the first stage and a JJ in the V2 position. I don't see any codes on the output transformer, but I do notice that it's slanted. That might be a result of shipping right there. See how slanted that is? That's probably a shipping thing. Somebody dropped the box and that's what happens. But let's get the chassis out. I'm not sure why I was shipped this whole box if I'm just servicing the amplifier. I do recall a conversation that I had with this customer about possibly having a speaker, but I'm not sure why he would send me the whole box. I might have to get with him and figure out what exactly all he wants me to do for sure before we crack into this. But I know at least we can take the chassis out of here because we don't need to shift this box around the whole time. So we'll divorce this chassis from its homemade pine cabinet and see what we need to do to service this bad boy. Okay, we've got this thing out on the bench now, and we're going to plug it into the Variac, bring it up very, very slowly, and just see if there's any life here, see what we've gotten ourselves into, basically. I haven't done anything to it yet. I've just taken it out of the cabinet, and this is in as-is condition. Make sure it's on. I'm just bringing it up to about 25 volts or so on the input. And just pause there. Let's see if we can get a... Well, there's no shorts on the input. Otherwise, my my Variac would actually start vibrating. Let's see. Check some voltage here. Okay, just going through checking voltages. Usually just kind of start at the power nodes on the secondary side, and that will tell you whether or not you have continuity on your power transformer, at least on the main winding. And we do that, at least. Let's dial it up a bit more. And we got about 117 volts right there and climbing. And that's on the rectifier tube. Let's see. Got 125 volts right there. That's on the power tubes. Plates, and let's see, that yellow wire should be the let's see, what is that? That's the cathode. Which one is the screen here? Sorry, I'm looking for the screen. Let's see, that's the plate right there. So that other one was the screen, actually. Right. There's this, let's see. That'll be the center tap for the output transformer. This one here should be the other side of the output. Should be. I'm getting nothing on it. Yeah, that's supposed to be the other side of the output, and I'm getting nothing. Okay, I've dialed the Variac on up a little bit more, and our voltage has gone up, but now it's starting to creep down. You can see the tubes are starting to draw down some of the current. They're starting to draw some current, so I think we should have some fire for sure in them now. It's kind of hard to tell. But I'm not really sure why I'm not getting anything in this one power tube. Unless there's maybe a bad socket. See, I'm getting negative. This is pin 3, so that's a plate of the power, and I'm getting nothing there. I'm getting 0.2, 0.3 volts. Over here I'm getting 213 volts on the plate of this tube. On the plate of the other one, you know, once again, getting negative 0.3, which I'd be willing to bet that's probably the same reading as the cathode might be giving me. Let's see. You know, same region. At any rate, something's definitely wrong with the output transformer, I would say. To have that happening, which is not a good sign. I've got it dialed up enough where I would have expected to have started hearing something by now, and I hear nothing. Let's, just for giggles, let's swap the power tubes and see if maybe, I don't know, if maybe that has something to do with it. It's very doubtful. Something is surely not right. Yeah, pretty much as I suspected, that has really nothing to do with it. And I should still see the 220 volts right there. But nothing on the other plate. It tells me something is wrong in the transformer. Let's get a better look at the output transformer and just see if there's something obvious. Sometimes on these you can take the output transformer, the paper wrapping off the outside, and see where something's broken. But we'll get a little better look at it here. Just one more quick test before we actually turn this over and start digging into the output transformer. We're going to go from the center tap of the output transformer, which is connecting right here, and we're going to test it on the side that we're getting voltage on, and we can see we're getting about 250 ohms of resistance through that half of the output transformer. Now let's check to the other plate of the other tube, and we are getting open lead. So either that side of the output transformer's winding is broken, or we have a problem with the lead between this point and the transformer, which is highly unlikely. Just to rule that out, I'm going to see if I can wiggle this wire and see if maybe it's broken. But I doubt very seriously that's the issue. Let's see, that's touching another wire. Yeah, that's not the issue. It's definitely a bad winding on that half of the output transformer. So I don't know where he actually got this output transformer, or if he installed it, my customer that is, or if he got it like this. But the output transformer is definitely not the original one. You can see there's a non-original nut here, or one of these at least is not original because they're mismatched. And then if you look at the output transformer a little more closely, it's just wiggling all over the place. When I first got it, it was off kilter, bent sideways. Also, it just doesn't look right for this for this kind of amp. I don't know if this is the original one. And plus we have another hole here, so we have actually a third hole. Here's where I think the original hole was, and I think this one was actually drilled after the fact to accommodate this new transformer. So probably blew an output transformer, and then this one was installed, and it's blown this one as well. So there could be something else wrong in addition to this transformer, but I know at least right now, with just what little we've done troubleshooting wise, that this transformer is bad, and we're going to have to come up with a replacement here. Now our replacement is going to have to accommodate a push-pull 6v6 setup. So with that in mind, let's dig through our junk pile and see if we have anything on hand. If not, we may have to put something on order. Well, a quick search of my transformer stash has revealed very few options for a push-pull configuration. I do have this transformer. I'm not sure what it is. I'm going to look up the number in just a moment, but that's a possibility. It's definitely push-pull, as it has a center tap on the primary. I have this one as well. This is for 6v6, and this may have gone to a Sears Silvertone. That's how it's marked. Probably like a 1482, I would imagine. I actually also have the power transformer from that same amp. So having a matching output and power transformer for 1482, I would like to keep those together if possible. So I probably will not use this transformer for this project, and would prefer just to order a new one rather than split this pair up. I mean, we'll see, but I really don't want to have to do that. These are some chokes. Oh, that's an output transformer, but it's not right. There's a little choke. There's a single-ended output transformer. These are single-ended. So, again, that's a little choke. Single-ended. That's power. So really our only options are these two, and I'm going to look up the number on this one, and hopefully we don't have to use this one. This one's bigger anyway. Well, sometimes in life, I guess you really luck out, and that's what I've appeared to have done here. This number corresponds to a number from Antique Electronics Supply. I ordered one of these replacement transformers in the past, I believe, to replace a transformer in another customer's amp, and I must have ordered two at the time just for the hell of it, because the shipping was going to be so high anyways, and it wasn't going to cost me any more in shipping. So sometimes your wisdom from the past comes back to pay some dividends, and I think that's what's going to end up happening here, as we have what this number says, at least, is a replacement transformer for a Fender Deluxe or Deluxe Reverb. It's about 25 watts handling, and this should do us very nicely. Okay. Alright, there's our old one uninstalled, and looks like we got some spider's eggs there. But look at this thing. Look, it's just coming apart on the side. Looks like they had to bend it. I don't know. They had to bend this bracket outward to get it in the new hole or something. I don't know. Anyway, this is definitely a botched OT. I can actually see a broken wire right here on top, I think. Okay, this is on the side of the output transformer here. As you can see, there's a couple of green wires, not these thicker ones over here, but these smaller ones. This one is continuous, but this one has been broken. This is the same size as this one. and it has been broken. There's another one right here that's diving down inside there, but this one certainly is broken. So what I might try to do is see if I can solder this back together somehow, stitch this up, and maybe we can salvage this transformer. Okay, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try to take some multi-strand wire here, strip some back, and use just one of the strands from this multi-strand wire. I'm going to clip that off and see if I can, I don't know, bend it into shape and tack it on there. Okay, this is probably going to be really hard to see, but you can see I've got a new piece of wire bent on the ends, and it's just slid down over the other two pieces of wire that were left. And this is really fiddly and tiny, so I'm not sure how this soldering job is going to go. It might end up being very ugly, but we'll see. Well, there is my repair, and pretty it is definitely not. You can see I don't think it's shorted out against anything, and it's not pretty, but I think it's going to do the job. But let's test the continuity of that side again and see if that has indeed fixed the issue. Alright, we'll set the multimeter back on resistance. And I think this was the center tap. I think. Alright, we got 250 ohms on that side. And 427 right there, so maybe that's not the center tap. Let's see. Alright, we got 178 between the red. It might have been the red. Okay. 177 and then, yeah, 250. So roughly similar resistance now. So yeah, I think we've salvaged the output transformer. Alright, now we've got our output transformer reinstalled. Let's go ahead and hook it back up to our load here. A little speaker that's out on our desk. And I believe this thing's probably 8 ohms, just like most little combos were from this era. So we've just got an 8 ohm speaker out here on the desk. I could not find a schematic for this exact amplifier, so I'm kind of just going by experience on some of this stuff. But we're going to fire it up again using the variac. I'm going to come up to about 25 volts or so and just slowly build it up and see if we have any life going on. Let's do some tests here. Again. Alright, we've got some voltage there. We've got some voltage at the center tap of the output. And we now have voltage on the side that we did not have voltage on before, in addition to the other side. So we are looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and crank her up just a little bit more. It's still climbing, but yeah, it's still climbing. Let's get it up to a point where we should expect to either start seeing some smoke or hearing some sound. Well, I would have expected to start hearing something by now. And I hear nothing. Let's check our secondary. Let's cut this thing off. And let's check our secondary on our output transformer for continuity here. And let's also actually, let's go ahead and do that before we get into much else. We're just checking the secondary of the output transformer for continuity. And oh, look at that. Oh, that's voltage. We do have continuity. See there? So we have continuity on the secondary, so it's not that. This first 12AX7 looks a bit suspicious to me, so let's yank that out and put another 12AX7 in, because I didn't even see any light on it. Well, before I changed that 12AX7, I decided to go ahead and just plug a cable in to the input here, and I am getting a little bit of hum when I dial this thing up. I'm actually going to go ahead and just dial it up all the way. Alright, and we're about to 120 or 122 volts on the input. And we're getting some noise from the speaker. I don't know if you can hear that or not. It's very quiet. You can probably hear the crickets louder than that. But whenever I don't get anything when I touch my cable. But when I move some of these pins on this input stage, I do start to get something, and then at other points it kind of goes away. So I'm going to clean this socket and maybe go ahead and get a new 12AX7 and see if that does help things. That's V2. Power tubes are starting to heat up. Well, that one's kicking completely in and out. So that's weird. Oh, that would be why. Because our output, I'll show you. Alright, that's a little more like it. We've got our extension wires shrink tubed and properly soldered now, so they're not just wrapped around each other and taped. We did go ahead and tape up the outside of this transformer because, as you recall, that's where our leads were, and that little extra piece of wire I had to put on there. It's kind of fragile, so I wanted to protect that, so we've got an extra wrap of electrical tape around that. But that's a hell of a lot better than it was. Okay, so let's go ahead and clean our sockets, our tube sockets, while we're at it. Somebody asked me the other day what I use to clean tube sockets and whatnot. This is what I use. It's a CRC product. This is a QD RVP. The RVP is reduced vapor pressure. I wasn't able actually even to find this product anymore, but I do find the QD a lot. And this stuff, I got a whole bunch of this stuff for pretty cheap, and it does a great job. And I actually like this kind of better than the stuff that you find at Radio Shack. First of all, you get a heck of a lot more for your money. Second of all, it tends to remain in liquid form on your work just a little longer without evaporating, so it gives you a little more time to clean everything and for it to do its job. But we're going to spray everything out, clean these sockets. Now we may have to come in here and retension these sockets up front here, because that seems pretty weak to me. I always just spray some of the stuff and then kind of wiggle the tubes a bit. But not while they're hot. If you do this while they're hot, you run the risk of damaging them. rectifier was fine, but we'll go ahead and spray it anyway. Okay, so there's our tube sockets cleaned, and let's see if we can dig up another 12AX7 for this first position. Okay, I have a brand new 12AX7 in the V1 position, but as we can see, it's had very limited positive effect, and the volume is all the way up, so that's not really helping us very much. What I have kind of noticed here is, let me see if I can find my probe. There we go. I can test, okay, pin 1 on V1, I'm just going to clip it here, same difference. That purple wire right there is going up to pin 1. That we have 175 volts on, so we have voltage there at the plate. On pin 6, 1, 2, 3, and there are 4 5s right there, so this is pin 6. Let me find a better place to clip that one on. How about right down here? Okay, same difference. That purple wire is going up to the plate. P for purple, purple for plate. You can see this one jumping around quite a lot. That's because that's our oscillator probably for our tremolo, I would venture to guess. I'm gonna change the let's see, let's change the rate on it. There, that's all the way up, see? So we know our oscillator, that's all the way down on the rate, so we know our oscillator's working. Here's the depth. I'm not sure how much change that's making on the oscillator, but at any rate, it's definitely working. It's oscillating, and the controls are working to change that, so we know the tube is good. We're just not getting any signal out of that first half of that V1 tube. But if we come over here, I can look at pin 1 here. You can see as soon as I touch it, we get a lot of noise. So that's telling me, you can see that's 279 volts, so plenty of voltage as well. Here's the other plate. 225 volts. So we're getting plenty of voltage at the V2 stage. But none is really coming through that V1, so maybe a coupling cap issue. These caps are notorious for going bad. Look at these. These are all like standard / Sangamos. That's General Instrument right there. Sangamos. These are not good. These are probably just paper and plastic, I think is what they're made of. But these are not good caps. They're notorious for being bad caps, especially as they have gotten this old. And as you can see, the inside of this cabinet is just filthy. So these probably have not been stored very well. Probably best just to come in here to shotgun these and get it over with and not dilly-dally with it. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably 7 caps that we're just going to shotgun there and get it over with. Okay, I changed all the caps on this first board and got done with it, and still nothing. So on a hunch, I went ahead and changed the V2 12AX7 and ended up getting something now. So there's a problem with that socket as well. It needs to be retensioned or cleaned again. But we do at least have signal coming through, so which is good. What we do not have is any tremolo, so I do get some little clicks when I turn the depth, but that's about it. The oscillator's on V1, and if Could have something to do with a bad or dirty socket there as well. I just don't know yet. But we definitely don't have any tremolo. So we need to figure out what's going on with that. And I believe that the tremolo caps were on this board. There was one I did not replace. I might go ahead and replace that. But I don't think that that's it. I mean, like I said, I'm getting oscillation. I just don't think. I think there may be some other problem, like a socket or one of the resistors in that circuit. So I'll have to trace out that circuit and see what's going on with that.